I literally have trust tattooed on my stomach because I always trust my gut, bro. Like literally, no matter what, I've been in so many situations where my gut has saved literally so many situations, man. And anytime you go against it, you learn, and literally, bro. And that's the feeling.
Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places on the planet to live. For those of you that are thinking of moving from other states to come to Florida, or even just moving to a different part of the state, I want you to think of a big, beautiful luxury home. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. They are a family-owned and operated luxury residential construction company. As a family-owned business, they believe in the power of building not just homes, but legacies. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. The nightmare of feeling like you'll never measure up, of constant second guessing and self-doubt. It eats away at you and destroys your confidence. I've been there too, feeling like I didn't belong on the field with my teammates, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I used to compare myself to everyone around me. I thought that no matter how hard I worked, I'd never be as good as the other guys. It killed my self-belief. I now help athletes develop an elite mindset so comparison no longer controls them. We teach techniques to cut out the negative self-talk and unlock their full potential. Imagine stepping into the box when it counts the most and feeling totally confident in your ability, feeling invincible instead of insecure, ready to seize the opportunity instead of shrinking from it. That's the mindset I help athletes develop. Don't waste another minute on comparison and self-doubt. Take control of your mindset and become the confident, unstoppable competitor you were meant to be. DM or comment below to get started with the Edge and transform your mental game. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Shawn French, and today I have with me something new for you guys. I believe it's a true treat. I have an electrifying performing artist who is from Columbus, Ohio, who is known for selling out all his local shows in Columbus and Ohio, statewide, but also has gained major interest and major fans in other key markets. He has an album dropping on the 18th or the 15th, I believe, coming up here really quickly. So we're here with my boy Krash Minati, and hey man, welcome to the show, buddy.
Man, thanks for inviting me, man. It's a pleasure.
Bro, I'm excited to have you here, dude. Like, I haven't had a performing artist on yet, and it's exciting for me.
Yeah, I've been I'm excited because I just recently started getting into the whole actually tapping into podcasts and different things like that, bro. And once I seen the Determined Society, and I knew I would have the chance to actually come on here and speak, man. I was really excited about it, and I really couldn't wait for real because it's something that I've just recently actually just really gotten into, bro. And I love the message you're putting out and everything you're doing. So
thank you, bro. Thank you. The crazy thing about my show is that no matter what you're doing, whether you're an entrepreneur, a performing artist like yourself, an athlete, there's always some mental journey that comes along with everything that we're doing, right? The rise and the obstacles, the adversity. So I'm just super stoked to have you on equally, man. And when Justin brought you to me, I thought this was a great opportunity to expand my scope because I looked at it. I'm like, man, this might be tough. This might be hard for me, right? But I'm thinking well, hell yeah, this is good then, because I want to be able to expand my knowledge base and expand, my abilities right here on my show. And dude, I'm just super jacked. So why don't you, for a quick moment, for the audience that doesn't know you, give a brief, I guess, bio into your background, who you are, and everything that you've gone through on the come up so far.
My name is Krash Minati with the K. I got into music, really recording music and taking it seriously, right after high school. I started making music in high school. I was in a group called Guru Gang. That's kind of where we all started for real. But I've just progressed over the times. I was in another group called the Minati Boys. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, 29 years old. I make movies. I just directed, produced, and wrote my first film last year called Tears for Tasha. I pretty much, I'm one of those artists that do it all. I feel like I'm a jack of all trades. I don't think I'm, I don't say I'm the best at any one thing, but I do say I'm at least good at everything.
Dude, that's important, man.
That's all right.
I think one of the things, man, I look at myself like that too. Some people will argue it's better to be great at one thing than really good at a lot of other things. And I always like to think about that and challenge it, bro, because it's like, wait a second, man. Like, I don't know. So I have a lot of things going on in my life right now that are indicative of the fact that I'm just dynamic in my skills. And if I'm only good at one thing or great at one thing, then there's a lot of revenue or income streams that I don't have because of that. So, so dude, what was it like, right? Let's get down to it, because I know a lot of people, have questions about recording artists and what their life is like and how it is, writing a song, producing it, creating it, and putting it out there. What does that entail for you?
It does. It entails a lot of being open. You kind of have to be vulnerable in some form of way. At least with the type of music that I tend to make, sometimes it takes a sense of vulnerability, because I'm really putting it all out there. Especially this tape. I'm dropping a tape called "That's What I'm Here For" March 15th. So I'm really being very vulnerable and like kind of opening up and telling my real side of the story. Sometimes I feel like as an artist, we get trapped into staying in one lane, and giving the people what they want to hear, and trying to beat the algorithm and doing this and doing that. And I feel like that's kind of taken away from artistry nowadays, because back then it was just what do I have to do to be an artist? Nowadays it's what do I have to do to beat this algorithm, And I kind of try to stay on the path of I'm an artist. It's okay. You feel me? They may not like this, but you're an artist. You feel me? You're going to make something else that they may, like next time, So,
Yeah.
And that's the vulnerability part, it's kind of never knowing, you feel me? Are they going to like it? Is this when you fall off? Is this when
Yeah,
it's like,
I do feel you,
know,
man. I do feel you. It's interesting. And I want to interject real quick because I'm listening to you and you can see me smiling, right? And if people, the audience right now listening on Apple or Spotify or whatnot, you can't see my face. I'm completely invested in what Krash is saying right now, because what I just realized is like, dude, me and you are not too far off. We're alike, man. We're artists in different genres. I'm still an artist, right? I mean, I feel that being a show host you have to be an artist, and everything I put out there, I'm sitting there myself and saying, okay, I'm not going to stay in one lane. I'm an eclectic individual. And it took my show a long time to kind of gain that, excuse me, I guess that momentum, because of the fact that I didn't want to chase the clicks. I didn't want to chase the algorithm, and I will never fucking do that. I'm never going to do it. I'm going to be me. And I just want to acknowledge you here on the show early on and say, thank you for your authenticity, because a lot of other artists would sell out. So can you talk to the audience a little bit about that mindset, man? Because that's a tough line to kind of be like, all right, well, am I going to straddle this thing or am I going to hop over on each side? How did you deal with that decision-making process? I mean, and here's what I mean by that. I'm sure the decision was simple. Like, deciding is always simple. Executing is hard. So walk us through that.
I feel like I'm kind of, I can't speak for everyone, but I know like my mindset about this whole thing has what's kind of led to, my happiness in it and being able to stay happy throughout it all, is because I've always been the type of person to believe like everything happens for a reason, So even if this happens, I know it's for a reason. And it's up to me to try to decide, like, what do I learn from that? What am I going to take from this situation to better the next one? And I feel like a lot of the times as an artist, you neglect that part. You feel me? You take failures personally. But at the end of the day, it's not personal. You're an artist, and we're sensitive about our shit. That's that's the saying. But like really though, our artists we're sensitive about it because we actually put our hearts and souls into this thing. But once I think once you separate, other people's feelings to your artwork, it kind of becomes it's easy, It's not that I don't care, but I know what I do this for. It's not
Yeah.
for necessarily you to like it. I'm doing this because I have to get it out. I'm an artist. This is how it comes out. And the fact that you guys, and other people can agree and, feel the way that I feel, man, it's a blessing. And I love it.
No, dude, I love your vibe, man. I love the fact what you're saying is, things happen for a reason. Life's happening for me, not to me. And, to your point though, on failure, it is very difficult, right? It is very difficult, especially when you get started, to deal with those failures and not take them personally, because this shit's coming from your soul, dog. Like and just like my brand, when I started it, when I would, put something out there and I'd get 25 listens, it crushed me. It's like, wow, like I know I suck right now, but I don't suck that bad. Like, come on. Like, can I get 60? Can I get 60 listens? Can I get 60 downloads? And, now we're, exponentially, more every single episode. But I think it's just because I stayed the course, man. And a lot of people, will take those failures. And I want to stick on failure right now, right? Because I just feel like there's a negative connotation around failure. Right. And I think we need to continue to bring to light that anything that you're doing in this world, you should be seeking failure first. Right. That's how you learn. It's an opportunity. Just like when you're lifting weights, they say you're not going to grow unless you go to failure. Right. But we all want to make it easy. And so then there's no change in our bodies. Our careers and our artistry is no different. So this is a question that I want to ask you because I think it's going to help people out. And whether, they're listening now and they're a recording artist or they're a business person or businesswoman, when you're starting out early and you're having an exponential amount of failure, how did you personally forge on with the courage and the determination and not allowing maybe some of those limiting beliefs kind of control your actions?
You love it. And you just, you feel me? Like I've always had like an undying faith, like an unwavering faith that I knew one day I'm gonna change the world in some way. I still all the way don't feel like I've done it yet, but I've never, even when I failed, I know it's coming. You feel me? And I've truly, honestly believed that, and it just so happened that I got into music. It was kind of crazy how it happened because I thought I was going to play football, but I had knee surgery when I was 12. So, I started thinking around that time, like, man, how long am I going to last? My knee be hurting now. I'm 13, 14 years old, like having to wrap my knee up. And I'm sitting there like, man, I don't know. Is this what I'm going to do? So it's like around like, I think I was my sophomore year, I really started getting into making music or whatever. But, to get back to your question though, where was I at? I started talking about football.
I know it was more of like, how did you stay on path when all the failure was coming early, right?
Yeah. That was the thing, man. I feel like I've always honestly really believed. You have those moments where you're like, man, do I? Or should I? Maybe I should be doing something else. And that, that's what kind of took me to doing these other things, man. And kind of never really focusing on one thing. I always wanted to be like, okay, well, let me go. I know I'm good at least this too. Let me go try to do this. Let me go make a movie. Let me try to make a singing song. I've never sung before. Well, let me try to put it out to see if they're like, I don't know, because you never really know. And I've always believed that, one day, may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but one day I'm going to do something that's going to change the world. And I've always believed it. And I don't when you're a kid and they ask you, what do you want to, do when you grow up? I used to be like, it was football for a long time, and then eventually it was just like change the world. That was what I always used to say, is to change the world. Because I didn't really know anymore. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to change the world. And I believe.
That's interesting because, when I was growing up, I was going to be a Major League Baseball player. That's the only thing that I wanted to do. And then when that identity was dead, when that version of Shawn died, I didn't know who I was. I had this big identity crisis. In fact, I'm speaking, I'm doing a TED Talk in about, less than 2 weeks, on the identity crisis of athletes transitioning from sport to the real world. Extremely nervous about it, by the way. I don't know if I have my shit together. I think I do. What I do know, though, is I'm on that stage for a reason. And when I get up there, I'm going to rise to the occasion, period. End of story. The one thing I will say, man, is the whole thing about changing the world, right? There's a lot of people that say it, but then there's a lot of people that take action and, are attempting to do it. You're one of those dudes. I'm one of those dudes. For me, right now where I'm at is I'm not talking about changing the whole world. I want to make a huge impact in athletes and public figures, because what happens is those individuals are viewed upon as good or bad or amazing or GOAT based on their performances, whether they're an actor, actress, celebrity, recording artist, country singer, baseball player. It doesn't matter. I'm on the mission to show people that all of these people are exactly that. They're human beings, right? And what they're doing is just something that they do, right? And I think it's important to talk about that really quickly. Like, I would imagine that who you are outside of artistry. Would that be accurate?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. My mom has always told me, like, Krash Minati is one person, but don't forget who Sherrod Pollard is.
Exactly,
and, and that always stuck with me. And like, so I know when Krash Minati is a character. I've been Krash. I got the name in high school, so it's not like I just made it up or anything like that. But like, yeah, it is different. Sometimes when you get too trapped into that, that's kind of how you can separate the failures from, taking them personally. Though, okay, you know what? This is Krash Minati. They this is what they want from Krash Minati. Krash Minati has to do these things. Sherrod Pollard has to do these things. Sherrod Pollard has to call mom. You feel me? Because he knows, Sherrod Pollard has to, you feel me, pay bills. Krash Minati might not give a shit about anything. You feel me? That's Krash Minati. But, you have to be able to separate those.
That's a good point. I think people just in general want to do big things in the world, right? Because I think that it's innate in us. Like, we know we're here for something bigger, right? Do you remember that moment, that exact moment when you were destined to do more than what you were currently doing? And if so, can you talk about it a little bit?
The exact moment I was destined to do more than I was currently doing, I honestly don't think it was one exact moment. It was kind of like a conglomerate of moments, like multitude of things that kind of led me to believe, like, all right, maybe it's not this, or maybe it's, I don't know. I've always been the type of person. My grandma used to say, "Don't do anything wrong because I pray that you get caught." I mean, I didn't get it back then.
Yeah.
I didn't get it back then. You feel me? I'm like, why would you pray that I get caught?
So you learn.
And so you learn, and I'm just one of those people who things, just happen to. You feel me? And I always remember, my grandma told me, oh no, I got a praying grandma. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
She's praying. You feel me? Like either way that it goes, so I feel like, I don't know, but I've always just had so much support from my family and like from everybody, and they've always kind of told me that I was going to be more, and that I was going to do more. And they instilled it in me at a young age. I'm so blessed and grateful for my family, my mom, my dad, literally like everybody, my entire family. Like I have a great family, so
dude, that's big.
I don't think it was just one thing, but kind of I will say this. When I thought, football was it for me. When I did have that first knee surgery, that was when I kind of started feeling like, what do I do that's better, that's going to be better than football? Yeah. What can I do?
Yeah.
And I didn't have it in my mind, but I went to one of my friend's house one day, and we were all in the basement. His name was JV. He started, him and Doobie were making a song, and I actually went there, in Tyrell. I actually went there, and they were making a song, and we were kind of like clowning on them about their song or whatever. So we started rapping in the background. They're like, man, y'all might as well get on the song then. So we ended up getting on the song, and everybody was like, "Bro, you need to do this. Like, this is what you do." Like, Jamie's like, "Bro, get in the studio. It's time for you. Like, look, this is what we do. You come get in the studio." And from that point, it was something else that was like effortless for me. I didn't really have to try. So I kind of knew then that I was like, you know what? I think I can take this to the next level. No, but that was like one of the moments where I'm like, you know what? I can do this, kind
That's
of
the
what I'm
moment.
trying. So,
That's the
yeah,
moment.
that was,
See,
I
guys,
can do
you
this.
guys listen, and I pulled that shit out of him. He didn't want to go. He went there. He found it, and it's important, right? When your boys said that, like, you got to do this, did you immediately subscribe to the thought, or did you fight it a little bit?
What you kind of cut out for a minute. The thought of what?
Did you immediately go all in when they were saying, like, hey, you should do this, or did you think about it and try to talk yourself out of it?
Well, these are my friends. They were my homies. So like, I was gonna be around them, like somewhat anyway. So I don't know. Like, it kind of built like a camaraderie. So it wasn't hard for me, like, and I trusted their opinion. So when they say like, "Yo, you're snapping,"
Yeah.
that's something that made me feel good. All right, I'm coming back. So it wasn't really hard for me. And then my brother Ivy, he used to tell me all the time, like, "Yo, you're different. Like, you need to do this."
That's important, man, to have that level of trust and vulnerability in the people in your circle, whether it's your parents, your grandma, your boys, girlfriend, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Right. If you can sit there and trust what they're saying and knowing, like, okay, it's on, like, that person would never lie to me. For me, my person that does that for me is my wife. If I'm doing something and I'm like, hey, is this good? Is this, yeah, it's good. Oh, no. Let me reframe it. Is it me? Like, do I do this? Like, is this great? Because I'm not putting anything out there that's not great. At least have some substance to where it can help somebody. I don't do mindless bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And she's that person to me, is just like, hey, this is fantastic. Continue to move forward, right? Or if she says, like, don't know if you want to go there, then I'll listen. I'm like, okay, cool, right? Because she knows me
You need
best.
that.
I need that. But like, when I was contemplating doing this, obviously my wife's the first person I called, because it's almost like my brain exploded in the car, and I was driving down the interstate heading to work one day, and that was the moment for me. Of course, like, again, there is a whole bunch of other micro moments that led to that macro moment. But I said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Please tell me I'm crazy, and just to go to work and shut up. She goes, no, I don't think you're crazy. I think you're spot on. I think that you're a very talented person. And if this is something that you set your mind to, you're going to be one of the greats. I was like, yeah, okay. I'm going to do it. And so then I did it. And, at the beginning, it didn't feel very great. I remember sitting in the, recording my first show. I was just using my iPhone, and I was talking in circles, and it was just the dumbest thing ever. And then after that, it ended up being in my car after a workout. Like, I ran my show out of my car the first 30 episodes. I mean, I don't know, 25 episodes. And so when someone tells me they can't do it because they don't have X, Y, and Z, I call bullshit on them. I'm like, nah, man, you just don't want to fucking do it. Right. If you wanted to do it, you would just do. So like, for me, having that person and those people in my life, they're going to tell it to me straight. Right. Because they have my best interest in mind. Like, I got to listen right away. Now, I'm going to preface it. She's listening now. There's some things in this business I do not listen to her on. She's been right about 95% of the time, but I'm always going to chase feel, right? If I can feel something and I feel it's still okay, nobody can get me off of it. There's like zero anybody can say, like, hey, I don't think that's good. How are you on feel? Like, do you go off of feelings? You do?
1000%, man. I literally have I literally have trust tattooed on my stomach, because I always trust my gut, bro. Like, literally, no matter what. Like, I've been in so many situations where my gut has saved me. Literally, so many situations, man. And anytime you go against it, you learn,
Dude.
and like literally, bro. And that's the feeling, like I never go against, like I always trust my feeling, whatever my gut's telling me, and it could be just the most random things, bro. Like I've walked into studios before and I'm just like, I don't feel like recording here. And I walk out, and then I just find out something happened later on or anything,
Yeah.
and like I've just learned over time, bro. Like I'm 29 now, and I realized when you do not trust your gut, you learn.
Well, dude, they call it your second brain for a reason. Like there's some type. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a biologist, but I know there's a reason they say trust your gut. That's your intuition. Like that is your second brain. It's strange to me. I should probably dig down. I should probably find an expert on that and have them on the show because, I mean, everybody says trust your gut, but nobody understands why. And I'm going to tell you, like when I feel something, when I'm thinking about something, and I feel like this weird warm feeling, like I don't do it. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's
intuition,
just,
bro. Yeah,
dude, and you can feel it physically.
Literally,
it's crazy to me, man. It's crazy.
That's like it's our natural defense mechanism or something, like
Bro.
somehow, like it's some type of way. But we're made up of, like atoms. You feel me? That like we're moving particles, just like we are. Like how the world is the same. Like that's what we are. So it's like every vibe, every motion, every like literally we're made up of mostly water, whatever they say. So it's like the feeling of waves are real. They really move throughout the air. I'm no scientist or anything either. So I'm just that's how I perceive them and how I like. Measurements of my, my way of knowing what it means,
Yeah.
Like literally the waves are real. Like we can't see them, but they're real.
Energy, like, bro. It's a frequency.
Yeah, it's the energy. Like that's why music makes you feel certain ways.
Yep.
People tell me all the time, like, oh, your voice just makes me feel some type of way. Like it's a certain decibel, once you reach a certain decibel, it gives you a certain feeling,
Bro, I'm not going to lie, dog. I have to interrupt you. Like, people are going to go crazy because we both have phenomenal voices. To the audience, I apologize to you because we're putting you through some shit right now because these are some two good voice dudes right here. So my bad.
Yeah,
my
likewise,
bad.
Bro.
Yeah, them poor people listening right now. They don't know what to do. All the vibes, bro. All the energy.
All the vibes, bro.
My bad, dude. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nah. You're good, bro. Literally. Your voice is beautiful.
Yours too, man. I absolutely love it. Like I wasn't joking when we talked the first time. I want you to do a song for my show.
I got you. Literally, I'm doing it after we get off today.
Like, bro, like hype, like, dude. I can't wait. I
booked a couple of hours after we get off here, so I got you. I'm gonna knock it out.
Bro, that'd be sick, man. That'd be sick. I'd be grateful and blessed. I wanna ask you. I had, questions I wanted to ask you. So I want you to, we're coming down towards the back, 18, 20 minutes of the show before we land the plane here. And I want to talk about, that's what I'm here for, right? I want to hear about the album. You're dropping it on the 15th, right? And that's why we're, wanting to get this out there quick. I want this out here so people can, go and see the relevance and snag that thing. Talk to me about the process of this album and what you're most proud of and, maybe some of the adversities that you went through in creating it.
Well, this entire album is kind of like, I was signed to a label for the past 7 years. This is actually the first project that I've released, that isn't under that label. Of course there's been like hardships and things going on that, like the fans and the supporters, we just haven't put out there and let them know about. But, I just started, No Breaks Records. So this is the first time I feel like people are actually getting to know what I've been going through personally, like my side of the story. Like why is it, people ask me all the time, why is it that you aren't bigger than what you are? And that's a weird question to ask somebody, when it's like,
but people but I've listened to your shit. Like I'm thinking it, like, and that's, it's a compliment, bro. You know what I mean? It is a compliment. I hear it all the time. Like, bro, like,
It is a compliment, and I feel like in this album, I kind of explain that in a sense. Like each song is kind of like, okay, this is what I've been going through. This is where my mind state is at. This is where, that's what I'm here for. Sometimes, you feel like you're not in the right place, but that's what you're there for. You can't forget. You feel me? Once I realized, sometimes you feel like you're out of place. Sometimes you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. Sometimes you feel like you're just, you're unappreciated. You feel like you're left out, but that's what I'm here for. Me taking on that feeling and me being able to be strong enough to, go through that for, as long as I did, because of the love that I have for other people. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to change. Sometimes you start questioning, like, man, people are doing me like this. I should do them like that. No, that's not you.
That ain't the jam.
I mean, you got to save your soul. You feel me? Save your own soul. And that's what I always tell myself, bro. Like, save your own soul. You know what? You're here to love. You're here to care unconditionally. You're here to be there for those people. So just do that. That's what I'm here for, And that's kind of where it comes from, man. So I'm really proud of this project, and I can't wait to get it out there, man.
Bro, you had me in goosebumps and in my feelings in that from like minute 28 until now, because I feel you. Like, I get it. It's like every position that we're in, even that we don't want to be in, this is what I'm here for. Right? Because that moment right there is going to make you into a strong, for those of you listen, it's going to turn you into a stronger man, stronger woman, husband, wife, professional, artist, whatever it is. That moment is what you're here for. You would not be in that moment specifically if, in fact, the higher power didn't want you there, and or if you didn't attract it in some type of way. And people really have a hard time with that one. Everything that we have in our life, it is the sum of our thoughts, right? That have turned into our actions. And now here are the results, right? And I can remember back, and it wasn't too far long ago, man, 2023. I've said it multiple times on air. Maybe I think I have, but I'm going to say it again. Was the roughest year that I've had in a very long time. And I'm talking like financially, spiritually, physically. Like, I mean, physically, shit, dude, I got fat in 2023 and I'm trying to rebound, right? It's like, it's one of those things though, where I look at them like, okay, one thing at a time. Now in 2024, I have several opportunities now that where finances are no longer the issue, right? I learned from what happened in 2023, and then I bet on myself in 2024. And since I did that, I'm being rewarded financially. So what I want the audience to really learn from what I'm saying right now, and from what you have spoken about in your transition into No Breaks Records, right, is bet on yourself. You want to be blessed, then throw it out there, right? Talk to the audience about how important it is in your mind, in your eyes, to bet on themselves instead of putting their fate in somebody else's hands.
Well, it's a quote that I love. It's without being tested, you don't have a testimony. So it's like, if you don't go through anything, you don't have anything. Like if you don't go through anything, how do you really enjoy the fruits of your labor? You have to put in the work, and you have to, go through these things, man. And I'm not going to lie to you, like, say writing, I don't want to use the word riding somebody else's coattail, because that's not, for lack of better words, I'll say that, like, say you ride somebody else's coattail all the way to the top. You get there. Yay, we win. Mm-hmm. How do you really feel inside?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How do you feel really unfulfilled, bro? You feel unfulfilled because you didn't earn it. You
feel unfulfilled. You didn't help do, any other work. Go bet on yourself. Put the work in. Sweat, the blood, the sweat, the tears. bet on yourself, put the work in, man, and you reap the benefits that way. And yeah, I hate the ride your coattail because I don't necessarily believe. You feel me? I feel like there are certain moments when riding somebody's coattail will it works in your favor, and I'm totally not against that. You feel me? But I feel like at some point, you want to have the coattail. You feel me? Something for other people to ride.
You want to have the table people want to sit at. Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
And dude, I think, what you're talking about is there is a time to ride the coattail, but I think it's just it's funny, like, because we hear it all the time, but I think it's a nasty way of saying, like, put yourself in good collaborations.
Exactly.
The most fruitful, I mean, collaborations. I mean, look at all the artists. Look at all the artists, bro. What about that Drake song that oh my gosh, that had Eminem in it, Lil Wayne. What was that called?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite songs. It wasn't because of Drake. It's the collaboration.
It was the collaboration. Everybody had their own sauce and mixed it into the pot and made
so good. But so good. So like they leveraged each other's audiences. And all these artists back in the day understood that, right? Doing the collabs and then also doing the repurposing of old tracks. Like, like the Vanilla Ice Baby. Everybody loved that.
Right.
Oh shit, this is Under Pressure. Oh my God, no, it's not. What is this? And then it brought the young generation like, oh, this is Ice Baby. Wait, this isn't Ice Baby. This is Under Pressure. What came first? And now you have different exposures. Mm-hmm. Those things right there, collaborations are so important, right? And whatever you can do respectfully to leverage audiences and introduce new people to your audience, I mean, that's giving, man. That's I love that.
And I don't think there's a problem with that at all, Mm-mm. And being able to, count on yourself, it just gives you another sense of fulfillment, like, personally.
Yeah.
Where you like, even because you're not always going to win, you're going to fail a lot.
Yeah.
So, just going through those failures, like, without the sunshine, there's no rain. Without the rain, there's no sunshine. Like you need both. And I kind of feel like betting on yourself is just, you just take everything, the wins, the losses. It's more fulfilling at the end of the day. You win, you lose anyway. You might as well take them personally.
Yeah. It's so funny because like, and then we'll land the plane here. Excuse me. I think it's, when people come up or want to come up, they want to skip the part where it hurts. They want to skip the blood, the sweat, the tears. They want to skip the rejection. They want to skip the people laughing at them. They want to skip the part where their own family don't believe in them. And because here's the reality, bro. Not everybody has a family like you. Like, not everybody's family supports them and listens to their stuff. Listens to their podcast, buys their book. Cheers them on. Like, I don't get that from the majority of my family, maybe a few, my mama, my Aunt Kay, my wife, right? But like, that's a thing, man. Like that, you can't skip that part.
You can't.
That ties into what you're saying. You can't have,
because I mean that's kind of how you learn who should be there and who should.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got your day ones, your day twos, and then your day threes. It's like. You got to know how to separate those. You feel me? Like the day threes are the people who you grow with.
Yeah.
You feel me? Those are the people who you realize, okay, I have a lot in common with this person because we're doing positive things together. We're growing together.
Yeah.
And the day ones are the people who you were born around and that you can't really separate from.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? But now it's like, we don't fit together no more. So, they're upset at you because they feel like, but you create your own tribe.
You do. And it's funny. When you grow or ascend to a certain point, you start to offend people. Yeah. And I mean, you're going to lose people, man. In your homies that are still there. Like my best friend, Quinn Stewart, still here to this day. Ryan Patterson, all my dudes that I played ball with at LSU, Justin Higgins from when I was a kid, 11 years old. I mean, I know they're never leaving, right? My guy Dan Teffer, I can, if I'm missing people and you guys are listening, I'm sorry. If you have to sit there and say he didn't mention me, trust me, I'm thinking about you. I love you. All right. But for the sake of the show, I can't keep naming people off. But like, those are the people, when I'm the biggest sports media brand on the freaking planet, they're coming. Like, those are my people I'm bringing in to work with me, and they ain't ever got to worry about anything. Doesn't matter what the qualifications are. We're going to find something, right? You take care of your people. You know what I mean?
Always.
You got those people. Yeah, you got them people.
That's one thing I stand on, man. If you were there from the beginning, man, there's no way I can enjoy. I'm not sitting in first class if my brothers can't come with me.
Yeah, I'm not going to be sitting here, as a big, huge sports journalist brand and not have my best friend Quinn Stewart sitting right next to me. There's no world that exists in. To a point where I was sitting with one of my athletes this weekend, and we were having dinner. And he says to me, I had homework last night. I mentioned you in my paper. I said, what? I said, damn. I was like, what was it about? He's like, well, coming from, being an athlete, there's like certain brands that I would love to collab with. I'm like, oh, well, shoot, man, when it's time, you don't even have to ask. Like, that's my day one athlete. He was my first athlete I started working with, and that's my guy. Like, if he needs something and I can provide it, I'm going to, right? But we have those people in our lives, right?
And that's the thing. Like, it's the little things that I think we forget to really celebrate, bro. Like, you're changing the world. Like, the little things that, like, I know how, like, that probably hits you when he said, like, I got you in my paper, probably like, oh, wow, it hit you like that. But bro, you're changing the world, like, little by little, like, when I seen it, just the determined society, bro, I was so, like, it just fit hand in hand with, like, the message that's going on with this album. And the fact that, I could collaborate with you on this podcast, bro, I'm like, this is supposed to happen. So once again, I appreciate you, bro. Like, I'm so glad that I could come and chop it up with you here, bro.
Well, dude, absolutely, man. And future collabs coming. I want to be there. I want to watch you perform in person. So we'll work that out too.
Bro.
And but for the audience listening, I just want to encourage you to look at the show notes, find Krash's Instagram, follow him, his YouTube, subscribe to his channel, and look for all his drops and support him, because you do not find good people often enough to where that they have a true, authentic heart. And this man's one of them. He has that, or else he wouldn't be here sitting with me on such short notice. I see you, brother. I can see us becoming really good friends. And ladies and gentlemen, please, 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 once again, share this episode with somebody that love, and trust, and tag us in social media. And I want you to remember one thing that Krash said, and then as you move on into your day, just bet on yourself. Just whatever it is, know that where you're at, you're there for a reason, and bet on you and move forward so you can go win quicker. Krash, I appreciate you, bro, to the end of the world, man. And I cannot wait to see everything that you do in the future, buddy.
Thanks again, bro. I know we'll definitely have to do this again for sure.
You know it, bro. We know it.
Have you on my podcast next time.
Come on, man. I'm there, bro. I'm there. All right, guys. Well, hey, until next time, follow the show, share it, leave a written review, and until next time, be determined and go chase your dreams. Peace. Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places on the planet to live. For those of you that are thinking of moving from other states to come to Florida, or even just moving to a different part of the state, I want you to think of a big, beautiful luxury home. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. They are a family-owned and operated luxury residential construction company. As a family-owned business, they believe in the power of building not just homes, but legacies. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. The nightmare of feeling like you'll never measure up, of constant second guessing and self-doubt. It eats away at you and destroys your confidence. I've been there too, feeling like I didn't belong on the field with my teammates, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I used to compare myself to everyone around me. I thought that no matter how hard I worked, I'd never be as good as the other guys. It killed my self-belief. I now help athletes develop an elite mindset so comparison no longer controls them. We teach techniques to cut out the negative self-talk and unlock your full potential. Imagine stepping into the box when it counts the most and feeling totally confident in your ability, feeling invincible instead of insecure, ready to seize the opportunity instead of shrinking from it. That's the mindset I help athletes develop. Don't waste another minute on comparison and self-doubt. Take control of your mindset and become the confident, unstoppable competitor you were meant to be. DM or comment below to get started with Edge and transform your mental game.